Brutz with Friends. This is my little COVID podcast thing
Yeah.
I do. And so this is Brad Neal. How do I sum up in a few words what has taken me 35 years of friendship, or plus or minus? Let's go back to this. You're a real estate person, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing.
What other things can you tell me about yourself that maybe people don't know about you?
I'm a dad. I like to think of myself as a member of the community, Venice. I've been involved in working with underserved youth, with the environmental movement, Biona wetlands, with other environmental issues, including the Rainforest Action Network. Um, and yes, real estate, obviously, and then music. I've been I had a jazz club in Venice for a year, but I've continued to bring music. Even in the '90s, I would bring music to Venice on the rooftop, and until COVID, I was bringing it every Sunday to my former jazz club. I sold the club after a year of gray hair, and 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 put in the lease with my new tenants, because I kept the building, that I get to bring music every Sunday for 30 years. So I'm a music guy. And
That was
right now, because you've been to my penthouse, right now I'm creating an audio visual platform for performing arts on the Venice Beach penthouse.
okay.
The panoramic view of the ocean with state-of-the-art roll-out PA and ribbon speakers surrounding the entire 5,000-foot deck. So I'm kind of excited about that. That was a good use of that space even before COVID. And now with COVID, I mean, that's where everything's going. So I'm kind of excited. I'll be done in about a month.
So are you just using that as a place to put on events, or how can you explain a little bit more about that?
Yeah, because it sits on top of that building that I've owned since 1990. I'm doing three things. I'm going to create limited access for the building's residents. They'll come up the back stairwell and hang out in their little, and during COVID, we'll have pod areas where they'll all be able to maintain. So like apartment 1, apartment 2, they'll all be socially distant, and yet there's plenty of room for everybody up there. That's how big it is. So that'll be one component of the rebirth of the penthouse. The second component will be a corporate tenant that gives it 8 to 10 days a month. And I've got a couple that are looking at it, but I'm going to limit their use to the inside space and the outside space, but only up to 10 days a month. And then the other 20 days, when my residents in the building aren't getting, away from COVID up there, I'll be doing micro weddings, and I'll be doing live streaming for performing artists, including nonprofits. And then I'll be doing some stuff for profit as well. But mostly I want to bring music to, I want to promote music and performing art from that very unique space.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous space. I remember, okay, back in time, Brad Neal has this gorgeous apartment and went up in flames one year. And
2003 to be exact.
how many? 2003?
Yeah, March 17th at 10:30 in the morning.
Man, oh man, that was wild. And one of my paintings that has been eluding me off and on for 20 years either been stolen, then somebody tried to, sell it back to me for $20,000. And anyways,
Did you get it?
I never got it back yet.
We got
The guy, anyways, it's in Apple Valley somewhere. But then the last guy, this Travis Schrenk character, who grabbed it out of it was the guy not to be too much about my story, but he grabbed it out of the home, like a storage container. Somebody threw it away when they moved out of the stuff. The guy who took the painting got popped in Texas for selling marijuana, and was bailed. He got $1 million. He got out on $1 million bail. And so there's this whole, I just want to do a documentary of the movie, of the paint. I'm trying to find the painting because
it's an awesome painting. Awesome painting.
Yeah, it's one of my, I need to get back into that space and create like that again. But I've been doing more graphic oriented stuff, so you can see the stuff back. I'm working on this stuff back there, but the Hawks. But yeah, Brad was amazing and trying to and facilitating the recapture of that, which hasn't happened yet. But one day, it's called Circadian Rhythms. I should put a poster of it on here so people, if they ever see it. Last I heard, it was in San Jose, California. How it got there, who knows if it's lies or not. But you the first time I ever met you, I was looking for an apartment in Venice. It was like 1995, and you had a headset on, and you had people working for you, and so you're like ripping, you're like doing, just rocking and rolling. And I think I just got through seeing a couple Grateful Dead shows, so I was real hippied out, like still am hippie at heart.
I was seeing the Dead then too that year.
Yeah, that was amazing, right?
Yeah.
There was at the SC Coliseum.
Well, I chased him all over the country because that was Jerry's last year before he died. I was at Shoreline in.
I was at Shoreline.
A1 Saturday night, A1 and 2.
That was a good show, man. Those are can't do that again.
Tears coming down Jerry's cheeks when he did Stella Blue. Let me get a sweatshirt. Hold on.
Yeah.
I thought I had a sweatshirt. Oh, here it is. It is cold.
Oh God!
All right.
We just got pummeled with 10 days of rain and wind and bullshit over here. It was like,
where are you?
Really gnarly. So I'm glad you guys got the rain now because maybe it came to you guys.
Are you in Eugene or something? Where are you?
I'm in Salem.
Oh, Salem. Okay.
Salem. And so I talked to you real quick and you looked at it just like a tentacles everywhere, just like spinning plates left and right. I was like, this guy. And we started talking about the Grateful Dead, and you're all, oh yeah, man, we have a lot of heads in here. And I was like, yeah, but I don't think I ever got the apartment. I ended up getting a different apartment, then I got a house on Dudley for 10 years. Right. But like you've seen a lot of things happening in Venice. I mean, where are we right now with Venice? What's going on?
We have no leadership whatsoever from the governor down.
Can I get you a little closer? I'm sorry to take you direction.
From the governor to our mayor, we have no leadership, none. And I mean, the homelessness has always, it's always been an issue, but it is just at the forefront of all our problems. I mean, it's gotten so bad and it's going to get worse. We have people dying on the streets. I mean, there's no compassion, there's no support. And, the CDC recommended that you shelter in place. So the position they're taking, the leaders, so our so-called leaders, is that we can't disturb these encampments, let them stay in their tents. It's safer for them there, which is a complete cop out. I mean, they got $1.2 billion from us in HHH money, and they didn't do anything with it. Now they're talking about making tiny homes, 64 square foot sheds, which is great. I think those are kind of nimble ideas are great, but guess how much they want a door in LA? No. $152,000 a door for about an $8,000 unit. I mean, it's really about a $2,000 unit, but when you get the plumbing, the heating, and the supportive showers and stuff, the infrastructure, it's about, I think Orange County did it for like $8,000 or $9,000, $152,000. So there's corruption, there's graft, there's just waste, and we gotta get angry here.
I remember before the COVID hit, it was like literally on like cue that they had finished the big facility where the bus
bridge housing.
So is that filled with people?
Well, it's not. No. In fact, every night, at least 30 or 40 beds go empty. They require sobriety for one thing, I think. And so you've got people camping out a block away, even though it was promised to all the residents that they would make sure they were within an 8-block, I think, perimeter of the bridge housing. There would be no encampments. And that's just been a lie. I mean, there are Gold's Gym's parking lots completely loaded with folks. And some of these folks, I mean, so many of them are suffering from drug addiction, alcoholism, mental illness. And I'm a recovering addict, so I've been there. I'm not judging anybody. Every one of those people, actually addicts are the most sensitive, creative people we got on the planet. Let's make them taxpayers. And we're not going to do that by letting them. You remember Shannon?
Hey Shannon, how you doing?
Sorry, I'm just trying Brad some mint tea because my stomach wasn't feeling good.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Oh, nice.
That plastic one smell too. I should have gotten rid of the other one.
Thank you.
That plastic. Okay, bye. I'm out of here.
See, what a nice
Tim,
wow.
we've been together 23 years.
Wow. Well, I remember
Yeah.
You don't hate me.
I remember us all hanging out. I think it was after Sponto died or something, and you guys were just
Yeah.
starting to date again or something. And I drew a little picture about the universe
Oh, yeah,
and love, and it seemed
Yeah.
it was a really I don't know, I was channeling something that day, but it was like, and then I gave it to you guys, and it was just circling. I don't know. It was a really nice moment between you two. I think you guys
Yeah. Well,
just getting back
I have
together.
a picture of that. I had long curly hair. Yeah, we had gotten back. We broke up one time for a year. Yeah. So what's what we're not doing is we're not holding folks accountable, uh, and we're not helping them. We're not leading with love, which is really you have to hold folks accountable, and you can't allow people just to be strung out on meth or heroin or crack. It's not really crack so much. It's a lot of meth and some other stuff, a mixture of meth and heroin. And so you have, so I would say like 60 or 70% of the people that I see are on something or severely mentally ill. And this is wrong. I mean, I carry extra shoes in my car because I see so many people without shoes. I mean, no shoes, really? Today, I gave somebody, I had to take out the lining of my shoes because it was a tall guy, much bigger than me, to get him in some shoes. We have a humanitarian medical crisis, and we need to do triage housing, triage. And that means government issued tents, that's fine, unsanctioned campgrounds with bathrooms, with showers, with food distribution, and the outreach that these folks need. And for some of them, we need to do a lot of them actually, at least, and I'm only talking Venice. I mean, if we're talking about America, I think like half the homeless people are women and it used to be women and children. So Venice is very distinct in that we're talking about a younger population of homeless people. A high percentage of them are mentally ill and or drug and alcohol or alcohol addicted. So that's all I'm talking about is Venice. We need triage medical treatments, triage hospitals, um, because we're going to need to get these folks detoxed.
Yeah.
And it's it's just not okay.
So this
Right
is
now they're shooting up right on the I can't let my kids who grew up in that building. If I was doing that today, I would never let them go out their front yard.
no way.
No way. And I'm pissed off that I'm paying hundreds of thousands of dollars in real estate taxes to these clowns that they don't care about my kids. They don't care about, my neighbors. They don't care about these homeless folks that are in need of help that can't think for themselves. They don't care. I'm frustrated. I really am. I'm angry. And and there's like in the last 2 months, we've also seen just a huge spike in serious crime. On my street, I live over here in Mar Vista, and a block away, 2 months ago, a 76-year-old man on his bike got pushed off the bike by a homeless vagrant. I'm going to call him a vagrant because he's a fucking murderer. The guy died because he hit his head on the curb, and the homeless person took his bike, got caught. I believe he was let out. 3 nights ago, at Wade and Venice, only 4 blocks from where I live, a wheelchair-bound housed person, former Korean War vet, in a wheelchair, super nice guy. Everybody knows him. He feeds the dogs, always travels around in his wheelchair. He intervened in a dispute where a homeless woman was being threatened by a homeless man. And the homeless man pushed the guy from the wheelchair. He died. I know. This is on 2 months, 2 blocks from me, either direction. So we're putting everybody at risk. We're putting housed and unhoused at risk. And it's just not okay.
It seems like it would be creating a perfect storm. It's like growing into like it's like just the continuation of of more bad things on top of bad things. And is there a cure at all? Is there any way around this, or what
The
is?
perfect storm. It's funny you say that because, you know, when this COVID shit broke, we also had, you know, more of the systemic racist, you know, actions of police officers. And I love our police. I'm not, they're just like anyone else, like our plumbers, our lawyers, a certain percentage of them fuck up. And so if you're a black man, you're 3 times more likely to be killed than I am, even though I'm only half white. I look white. So it's structural. I was happy to see, sad to see, you know, the killing and the knee in the neck for fucking 7 minutes. But I was happy to see the response. And I really was thinking, fuck COVID, you know, this is part of something bigger, because we saw a lot of people hit the streets. And I still believe in that. I still believe the perfect storm is a good storm. It is going to shake things up, because look, this system didn't work. America built itself on racist tendencies and policies that we have not really addressed still. And so for me, this is kind of interesting. I kind of am excited in a way about what the potential is. Um, but in the short term, yeah, we need triage housing, we need triage medical, and we need police officers to be able to do their job. We need to be able to support them. We probably should pay them more, just like we should pay our teachers more. And we should probably require more training of police officers. Plus, we need to have them be more part of our community. We need to have them out of their cars, walking on the streets, you know, in high density areas, so they know people with the part of our community. So having said all that, like about 2 months ago at the dispensary building I got on Main Street, because I got security cameras and everything. I always did, and I really do now. We caught an arsonist. We had some transient who, for no reason, started my building on fire. And I was fortunate because it was at midnight, and some neighbors from next door were walking by, and they called LAPD, I guess, not even fire department. I don't, maybe they call fire department, but the police were right there with extinguishers. They put it out. But I studied that footage. I shared it with my guys. We found that guy because he had purple pants. We found him within 7 hours, and we were respectful. We didn't, you know, we held him, called LAPD. He admitted he did it, and they came. I gave him the videos. It was clearly him. He was out that day. That's a Class A felony, intentional arson. There were houses right next door. That building would have gone up. The houses could have been burned. That's just,
Was there any motive, or was he just out of his mind?
he's out of his mind.
Was he just off meds or something? Is he?
I can't tell. It was really, I mean, my interaction was when we were staying our distance because we didn't want to get involved. We call LAPD, me and 2 mountain guys, 6'4" behind me because I'm pretty small. But I just not going to let people do shit like that. We don't ever use violence, but we won't tolerate people trying to hurt other people. You know, and that's what that is. It's very dangerous to start a
super
fire.
Dangerous.
Residential. So we got him, and he was trying to get on a bus after we waited for about an hour for LAPD. He kind of, I think, sensed that we were watching him, and he tried to get in a bus, and he had a backpack, and I just yanked him down and held him down and said, "You can't go. LAPD's coming. We know you started the fire." He goes, "I don't care. Why'd you start the fire? None of your business." I was like, whatever. But so the LAPD came, they took him in, and he was out that day, Brett. He was out that day.
They can't hold him on anything for that.
For arson, for intentional arson with video clearly showing.
Why was he out? That doesn't make sense.
Because the system's not working right now. We have a perfect storm, like you said. So it's a little frightening. Not for me, but I'm too old to be scared. But for kids, for women, I mean, I don't want them to walk out on their own right now at night. Even in the day, it's not okay.
No, I had a friend.
I like Mike Bonin. I've been a friend of his for years, but I got to tell you, I'm starting to lose my patience. It starts not with Bonin so much, really, not at all, actually. Although, I text Mike stuff that disturbs me. I know it disturbs him, but Gavin Newsom, fucking Garcetti, abject failures. And I've been a lifetime Democrat. These guys are clowns. They're clowns. They don't have any balls. They're not stepping up when we need them most.
What's
So,
gonna trigger them to do their job correctly?
hey, you froze on me. What's gonna change? What?
What's gonna trigger them to make the move to make something happen here?
I don't know that they have it in them. So, we're looking at a coast, a rocky run here for another 18 months, whenever they're 2 years, whenever their elections, I think they're up in 2 years. I don't know. I mean, barring I'm thinking class action lawsuits. I'm thinking, I'm not sure. I'm confused, Brad.
This is very confusing. It's very confusing. I don't even know how to even wrap around like when I went through Venice. I had a conversation with my friend who's an actress, and she was like, this is a few months ago, and she's like, she had people like mixing drinks and wanting to sell her a margarita that they just made up on right there. I said, don't drink it.
On the boardwalk.
Don't drink a margarita for the boardwalk, much less go. I said, she's like, oh no, I didn't do it. But I was like, you gotta be careful. She walks her dogs at night. She goes, I don't even know if I should walk my. I said, are you walking your dogs at night? Don't even on the boardwalk? What are you, insane?
Well, I mean, she can do that because it's her home and she needs to get out, but she should carry a taser. She should carry the taser that allows you, I carry one, allows you to take someone down 10 feet away. I mean, they're safe and they alert LAPD right away as soon as it's used. I would tell her to use that. And if she wants to call me, I can give her the name of the one I have. My Navy SEAL tenant turned me onto it. And I would recommend men and women at night to carry a taser.
What's the brand of that? Can you just tell everybody right now what the name of that one is?
Shit. Hold on, I'll look on my.
We can do it in post too. I'll put it up on the.
I can tell you laser or taser. Sorry.
That's the one with the strings on it, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. This one is the. Yeah, here it is. Taser Pulse.
We'll raise it up a little bit. Oh, it's a cute one.
Yeah. It's the one my Navy SEAL friend said to have. And you don't have to get close to them. It shoots electrical charge. 10 feet away, and it'll take them out. I mean, you get 60 seconds. And it alerts the police.
And so how's the once it goes off, it's alerts them. Oh, that's
location.
That's great.
And exactly what happened. I mean, it was released at so-and-so address at so-and-so time, and they'll dispatch.
And
actually, I don't know if they'll dispatch anymore. Fuck.
It's worth a shot.
Shit. Arsonist out same day. I don't know, man.
Fuck. What? So is the mood and the vibe of Venice is gonna be? I mean, I know a lot of people that have moved out of Venice or
but then others came in. So here's the deal. I don't have any vacancies in my building on the boardwalk at ground zero. No vacancy other than the penthouse because Snapchat moved out and I'm renovating it. But no vacancies. Venice is tough ass. Even the fucking all the shit that the Snapchatters and these little yuppies, all the shit that they get for coming in, and some of it is deserved. I agree. Some of the folks are not so sensitive. They're not open to the roots and the tradition and what Venice really is. But some of them are. You can't broad stroke anybody, including Snapchatters. Like I don't want to hear all the chatter about boo Snapchat. They bought everything. They didn't buy shit. They rented everything. And some of those Snapchatters that I leased residentially to some of them, the 30 somethings that are making 200,000 a year doing whatever engineering shit they're doing. One guy couldn't pay the rent. I go, dude, what's going on? Why are you late? You got to pay the rent. I got a big mortgage. And he goes, I have to get my family out of Syria. And I have to do that. I'll get you the money. Don't worry. But I'm getting my family out of Syria. This guy sent tens of thousands over to Syria because, shit was going down. This is a couple of years ago. And he had to get his family out of Syria. I thought, damn, give me some more of those folks. I go, and I say, hey, you're good. No problem. I'm a quarter Syrian. I can dig it. And my point is that we don't want a broad stroke. The Snapchatters and the Googleites and the techies, they got a bad rap. some of it, up here high, the big guys made bad decisions. Like they shouldn't have like just come into Venice, Snapchat, and not been more part of the community with, they had the little IDs and the police and their own security force. That was dumb. But the actual youngsters that came in working for Snapchat and Google, a lot of them are great people, man. They're young, they're vibrant, they're working in a new medium. Venice has always embraced.
Mhm.
Let's, and so, but Venice is in trouble right now. We don't like the artists have really been, as you know, they've been under attack. And,
Yeah, some people still think I live there, and I was like, I don't know where. I mean,
I know a quick fix for that. We need to take back the west side of the boardwalk for artists. Be strict about this, and performing artists, you know, um, any artist, visual artist, any type of art has priority, on that boardwalk, and they have registered space, and that's how we bring it back quick. Now, that still doesn't deal with the underlying structural problems, the unaffordability of housing, which our artists, our teachers, even our police officers can't afford to pay to live in our community. That has to be addressed. That's going to take some time. I mean, we can work on it right away, but immediately, triage housing for our homeless and triage hospital for them and triage art spaces. No, that should be like bedrock. That should be guaranteed forever. The boardwalk spaces are for artists, performing artists.
we did the lottery thing a while back, and that didn't work.
I know. It was bullshit, though. That was bullshit. It has to be strict art. We have to define it, but we know what art is. We know what it is. I mean, we can provide wide latitude to really protect art, but you're not bringing shit in from fucking, China to sell and call it art. You had to make it. You have to prove you made it. You're going to get registered and vetted. You made it. We know you made it because we sat in your studio and you showed us. Or, the performing artist that's doing the music, and they're going to be respectful because they'll have a different set of regulations because of amplification. They can only do it to a certain point and certain volume, but they're going to have space. The gymnast is going to have space. We're going to give the poet space. Swamis, of today will have space. And so that's what we need to do. We can do that right now. And that's cool. That the encampment should be broken up immediately and moved to safe zones with new tents and bathrooms for dignity and showers and food.
Yeah, humanity.
But it can't be on our primary resource on the beachhead, nor should it be in our residential neighborhoods where our children and elderly folks won't feel safe because a certain amount of addiction and mental illness goes with that. There's no way around it. We have to be honest about it. So that could happen immediately. Now, Bonin told me that they're working on LAX for safe camping. Judge Carter, the federal judge, is pushing that as well. I've been calling for that for years.
Yeah.
We need triage.
The busing in, because I remember I saw a bus that was busing people in and out of them at a certain time.
Yeah.
And they would take them to a spot where they could get their rest and medical, but they have to be clean to do those programs.
Yeah. I think the busing thing is probably got it. I have some questions about that. I think every community needs to deal with what's in their community. We have to start with their own, and you shouldn't overburden Venice. We're already kind of burdened anyway because we're at the beach, and we're part of a city's resource. The beach is a primary resource for the entire city. So I get that, but I think we need to really kind of question who's being bused where. I don't like buses. I don't even like buses. I mean, I suppose in terms of segregation, we needed to because there wasn't a quick enough way to begin integration. People couldn't move into neighborhoods. So I get that. But when we're talking about homeless folks, I don't think we should be moving them around so much. They're part of our community. Let's accept them where they are. The trouble is that we have 1,000 or more in Venice alone, and we just don't have the land for that.
There's only so much space.
Yeah, we don't have the land for that. Forget about COVID. So, and we're going to need 2 levels, almost 3 levels. We need triage housing for folks. We're not going to, I don't know how to deal with like the drug. I think anything beyond uh, marijuana and a certain amount of alcohol probably has to involve some type of intervention, a medical intervention. If they're doing heroin, smoking crack, or doing other things, or exhibiting other mental illness, we're gonna be taking their body. And I know that sounds rough, but it's not. I've been there. I was lucky enough to get out of it without having to have my body taken. And I'm grateful for that, but we can't allow folks to just wallow in their own sickness.
The thing with homeless is the poo and the pee. Is like
Mhm.
if there was some sort of manageable thing where people weren't defecating and shitting besides every, and not, this isn't a complaint fest, but is an observation fest. This is even people, college kids coming for the weekend, pissing outside, who everyone pisses and shits in Venice and then they leave.
I
And
got a
so
building on the
all this
boardwalk.
crap
I know what you're
everywhere.
talking about. The homeless people aren't the only ones pissing. Trust me.
No, it's
They're,
college
they're the,
kids.
they're the only ones
Weird.
pooing, pretty much.
I'm
Not.
sorry.
They're the only ones pooing.
Yeah.
But we have got a lot of peers across the board. I agree. I think I did it once. That's why I say we need sanctioned campgrounds. Part of the triage for our homeless in need is dignity. They need bathrooms and
Hours.
showers and linen. A nice tent with a heater until we get them a better situation. For those that are able to function, for those that can't, we're going to take their bodies. We got to take your bodies. That's so controversial. I get it. Sorry, you're smoking crack. You're shooting meth. You're coming with us. We
And
love
you're
you. You're not. Good news is you're not going to jail. You're not going to jail. Nope. But you're coming with us, and that's just the way it is. Sorry. You're going to be a taxpayer. You're going to get through this.
Yeah.
We will help you with the best treatment. And that's how you change and grow your country, and with compassion. You turn everyone into taxpayers. I say that because I can appeal to the fucking Republican brothers and sisters that I have. I've got Republicans in my family. I still love you guys, but it's true. Taxpayers are what we need. We need
Well,
people that buy into the system. Our system needs to change because we're losing a lot of believers, including myself, until we deal with systemic problems, structural problems of racism, sexism, and other isms. Until we deal with that in an honest, forthright way, and we haven't yet. This country is not fucking got taken down on the Confederate flags, for God's sakes.
yeah.
I mean, Trump, our president, is threatened to veto a bill. I think he did actually, and it was overridden because it was taking out those iconic signals, those dog whistles that we need to the only place those should be is in our textbooks to show the history of our racist ways so that we don't repeat ourselves. And to be humbled by that.
Or put them in like a museum of tolerance or something like that.
Absolutely museums. Most definitely museums.
Yeah.
Throughout our country. Yeah.
What's the how's the besides the encampments and stuff like that, what have you noticed more like in the closing of the buildings and the Abbott Kinney and Main Street, are those businesses in your eye, how is everybody holding up over there?
Everybody's hurting. My tattoo tenant's getting killed. My bar tenant's getting killed. Even my retail tenants on the ground floor of the boardwalk, they're getting hurt. So it's hurting a lot of people.
Are you seeing more garbage, not just on where the encampments are, but like, is it just are garbage cans available for people to throw shit away, or are they building up?
Yeah, the city's cleaning up that. They're doing I don't want to say their best. Like some areas it's really bad. Where the encampments are, they don't clean up the fucking encampments, which is crazy. The people that need the most help are getting nothing. And they're getting victimized by it. Because there's drugs involved in such a high percentage of our homeless in Venice, there is an element of the sale the dealing that is really ruthless, and it pisses me off. And so we could shut this down so quick. We could shut the drugs down and get help and triage for thousands of person. We could use LAX right now. It's enough acreage to get everybody in Venice.
Hmm.
I mean, like I said, maybe 70% could camp, 30% are going to a triage tent hospital with heaters. I don't fucking know, on a parking lot outside some hospital, but that's where they're going. We can do this. It can be
Yeah.
done across the entire city.
Well, and also
Okay.
I heard there's been a couple of the violence level has gotten a little bit like, and a couple of people have been setting people on their tents on fire around there.
Yeah, that's, I think, from what I've heard, is more homeless on homeless.
Yeah.
It might be some of the dealers too, though. It could be dealers. I don't know. There's no telling on that whole thing. I don't know. I don't have my ears to the ground that close, but I do. I'm pretty sure that you don't have some vigilante housed trying to get the encampments out. That's not what's happening. It might be dealers, it might be other homeless people. There's the
Scorn.
homeless people are being victimized by other unhoused and by other housed, but they're dealers, I think. I'm not positive, but I suspect I see it. My instincts tell me that's what we're witnessing.
Wow. So is there a silver lining, or like, is there
The silver lining is that it's shaking up the foundations of the world as we've known it, and the world wasn't working.
no, it
We
wasn't.
had children dying of starvation before my time. Since my whole life, there's been 5 to 10,000 children, mostly in Africa, not all, but mostly, and primarily in sub-Sahara, of abject starvation, bloated bellies, open sores, dying. That picture of the vulture 10 feet behind the little girl crawling to the UN feeding depot, that iconic photo, the guy committed suicide, the photographer. He won what, the Pulitzer or whatever you get for that. He won it. And he shoot away the vulture and had shoot away other vultures because there were other baby girls. She was 4. She looked about 1 or 2. She was so small, just bones. That image just is seared in my brain because it's there. What my mom talked about when I was a little kid. We were poor growing up. My Lebanese mother said, "Eat your food, all right? You know, their children starving." And she had a frying pan in her hand if I didn't eat it, but she knew, and she was right, and it still goes on. It's not quite as bad because there's been some really simple technologies that even like the conspiracy theorists hate Gates, but I think he did help distribute, so did some other guy, a straw that purifies water. Just that simple little tool alone saved like hundreds of thousands of people, like within the first distribution, first year, maybe more actually, because I think we're only losing listen to me,
Yeah.
but it's gone down from 10,000 to 5,000 a day in sub-Sahara that we lose a day. But even that number is 150,000 a month. There's, that's almost 3 million a year. Is that right? Wait, what's 150 times 12? 1.8, 2 million, 2 million.
Mm-hmm.
I forget. Yeah,
That's
2 million.
big.
But
It's a
still,
big number.
2 million babies dying of starvation by themselves. And we just act like it doesn't exist.
Do
Like
you
they're
think
not
they're?
up to it.
Do you think
So
they're like?
what I was trying to say was, I don't mean to talk too
No,
much.
sorry.
I just want to finish what I was saying. The point I'm making is it wasn't working, Brett. And this pandemic is just really an opportunity for change, for structural change.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of exciting. I mean, Jesus isn't here. Joan of Arc didn't make it. Thomas Edison, he ain't here. We are.
Mm-hmm.
This is the apex. This is the opportunity for true structural change. I'm
Yeah.
scared. No,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not scared. I guess I am sometimes. Not really, because I'm too old. But I do like worry a little bit, just how rocky it's gonna get. But then I realize, man, those babies been dying every day. So what? This is an opportunity.
Yeah, to rebuild the infrastructure, rebuild a new.
For true, adjustments to the way we live and the way we treat our brothers and sisters, a rising of consciousness universally that gets the message out there that we're all connected, we're all just one.
Very
That
fragile too.
though fragile but also resilient. We are resilient.
Yeah.
We can like if you think about it, it's going to end in Africa if it because that's where it started. I mean, that's where we're all African. We were all from the Australopithecus, the tree dwellers for 2 million years or 1.5 million years. They lived in those fucking trees. The woman was up there like 80% of the time. The man came down to gather and bring food, and but the woman was holding on to the tree, and their brains weren't that big because we know from archaeological digs, the brain cavities, and we can get pretty precise with, especially in the last 20 years, 25 years, we've really learned a lot archaeologically. And the Australopithecus, basically our missing link, you've seen that diagram, the chimpanzee, the monkey, and eventually some guy in a briefcase.
Yeah.
That missing link was the Australopithecus, and the Leakey family didn't get to know what you and I know, and that is that the Australopithecus didn't come down from the trees because they were curious. And up until then, the mainstream thought was, why did the Australopithecus finally abandon their trees? After 1.5 million years in the trees, why the fuck did they finally never go back up in the trees? And they thought Mary Leakey died thinking, as all mainstream thought did in 95, that they were curious when they came down. The men came down more than the women, and their tactile support and connection to the world produced larger brains because their brains the cavities got bigger. And that's what did it. The tactile, that was bullshit. That's not what it was. We found out after in the mid 90s through archaeological digs and carbon dating, et cetera, and a better understanding that evolution is not gradual, it's punctual. And the rising of the Isthmus of Panama deforested their habitat. The modern ice age extended out in Africa and deforested their trees. They got thrown from their fucking house onto the open tundra, where they were decimated over a very short period of time by dogs and cats who we later domesticated. And so we know because we see the teeth marks in the skulls, we see the killing dens where they ate 3 or 4 Australopithecus in a day, who were smaller, bow-legged because they lived in the trees, and were sitting ducks once their trees got blown out by the extension of the ice age. And then the woman, the female, adapted and saved our ass at the brink of extinction. She broadened her hips while on the ground for about minimum of 20,000, maybe as long as 200,000 years. We know that. It might have gotten more. I read about this 20 years ago. It's probably gotten more precise. You can look it up. But she broadened her hips and birthed a larger brain baby that could wield tools and weapons and beat down those dogs and cats and domesticate them. Isn't that cool? We were saved by a black woman. We were saved by a black woman. Now, why couldn't that woman, that Australopithecus female, why couldn't she have birthed a larger brain baby that was capable of wielding a weapon to knock down the threat to their extinction? Why couldn't they do that in a tree? Well, that's where they're at for 1.5 million years. They're in trees.
Well, they were safe before, or they have
adapted. Yeah, but they were safe before. That's interesting you say that. It was an evolution. That's true. You know what? You're right. Oh. But the more in-depth reason is because babies with big brains like you and me that can wield tools need postnatal support.
Yeah.
Gotta hold them. You can't do that in a tree. You can't do that in a tree.
Okay.
And you're right. Your answer was correct. Once they were thrown from the trees by the extension of the modern ice age and hunted to the brink of extinction over millenniums, thousands of years, they got pushed to the brink of extinction by dogs and cats. The females said, oh shit. Part of the Gaia, the connection of the universe, knew these fuckers got to survive. We're going to She's going to broaden her hips and birth that larger brain baby. And that's what she did. Pretty cool. So
Yeah.
I believe that the systemic problems that we have, the structural issues that need to be changed, can be changed overnight. It
Mhm.
can be done. It could get rocky and scary, but it's beautiful.
Well,
And
we're
that's,
evolving all the time. We're evolving. We're just. Did you think is this the paradigm shift that we were trying to think about that might happen in our lifetime, and then it happened, and this is what it looks like?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Here, tilt your camera a little up for me, so I
Sorry.
can see your face.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
okay, so we are witnessing the paradigm shift.
I would say so. I would say so.
This is what it looks like in a material world.
Joan of Arc's not here for it. She didn't see it. Jesus didn't see it. You and I are seeing this huge change in the world. I
Yeah,
mean,
and
we've never
like
been
we've
able
all.
to witness the capability of self-destruction. It happened after the Manhattan Project. It's only an 80-year-old phenomena, and now it's perfected. Multi-states, multi-players are playing this game of self-destruction, and it is getting funky. So we're at an apex in the evolution of modern people. I don't like to say man anymore. Women got to get up here with at least equal because they're like
Humankind.
so awesome. They saved us once before when that nice lady Australopithecus birthed that larger brain baby by broadening her hips. I mean, come on, man. We need women to come back to the table. We need their leadership and their
Yeah.
support. We really do. And that's part of the paradigm shift.
Mm.
So, and
Going
that
from
includes men too.
from a masculine to a feminine nature, or
Well, at least a co-opt multiple, right now it's not fair and it's been a patriarchal. But yeah, I'd be willing to let's try matriarchal. I mean, ideally I would like to think both, just like we have both inside of us. So my feminine side of me makes me a pretty strong man,
Mhm.
and I'm grateful for that. I was raised by a strong single mama, just gave the world to me, and so I got help growing up, and I see the power of women.
Mhm.
But I think all of us can see the power, even the most blind man, if he really is honest. Just remember, you came out of her birthing canal, motherfucker. Get real,
Yeah, yeah.
And I would ask you to imagine birthing or passing a watermelon.
That's
Because I mean, it's crazy shit. So just keep
literally.
that simple, and you realize that women are they're women, they're men and something else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you believe? Because I want to go back to this real quick. I know you're on limited time and stuff like that,
yeah.
but like do you believe that we came from a shrew-like creature when they go down the timeline of you know
Yeah.
they say that there was this little tiny like shrew-like thing that lived in the trees that we are.
Well, the Australopithecus was a tree dweller. They were small brain. They weren't that. They were kind of monkeyish. But I don't. In answer to your question, I don't have any kind of opinion on that. But my answer to that would be the reason why I don't is because I don't see any significance.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. I think it's nice to have an understanding of who you are, and part of that is where you came from. But more than anything, it's really where you are.
Mm-hmm.
Not where you're going so much. It's just you have to really be present. Where
Mm-hmm.
are you? Look around. Where are you standing? Where do you stand? And that makes it easier, moving forward, because really, once you realize where you are, then the future is already it's here.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're probably just some lizard that was a fish once. But isn't that cool? Isn't it amazing how the universe is so designed?
Well, even yeah, it's a trip. Even with our life, in our lifetimes, that we're, I can see, we have this crazy amount of my lights up, this crazy amount of time that we've all been here, but like but where we're going, and knowing that we won't be alive to see it someday, of the human race, of like humanity, nature, animal connection, all living together on this planet, and we're living in this thing.
You
And
mean because your plane will end, this existence as you know it will end at some point? It's finite.
well, my life will end at some point, but the humanity of it will continue. And
But
what that
entropy,
looks like.
but your life, I believe at least, is more than just this plane because really your essence is energy. It's energy.
Yeah, yeah,
And we know that energy doesn't just
yeah,
it doesn't even when you're rotting in the ground, you're emanating sound waves, but um your soul is entropy, it's energy, and entropy is this very it just kind of fades away. I think it has something to do with what the Buddhists believe, or I forget, maybe I got this wrong, but reincarnation and just coming back to resolving these human issues that make it interesting. And I don't know who the fuck's writing all this up. It's
yeah,
pretty crazy. I don't know, but there is definitely love. Love is real. It's intense as fuck. And when you just stay in love and when you just really lead with love, then things make sense. It starts making, you start feeling this connection that is sacrosanct
yeah,
to anything that you and I can say right now.
yeah. It's like life's a trip, apparently, literally. And what we do on our time here, and it's just like these all these like experiences of life, and realizing the mortality of your own existence, and all those people that have died just so that we could be here today through that evolutionary, billions of people that are actually now here we are, like those people that would never could comprehend what is happening right now or what this world looks like
Unless they're right here right now.
unless we're here. And well, we are. We just keep on
And
incarnating.
yeah, I mean, I forget how they explain for the exponential growth in souls. I mean, always these personalities now are in the billions. What we have 6 or 7 billion or whatever, 8 billion, whatever the fuck it is, on the planet. Where do all the souls come from? I forget. There's some explanation, but again, I don't think it really matters. All you got to do is just look at just the design of your hand.
Yeah,
So intricate. How the fuck do I get up and eat and go take a crap and shower and go work out and create? I mean, what the fuck? Come on, man.
it's
Osteoporosis
crazy.
on the hips. So the whole thing with Einstein and the relativity of time and what really time is or isn't, I think it is a construct. And if time isn't linear, if it's vertical, then the idea of multiple existences and just the ability to just move around in time and space becomes a wide open concept that I can't really understand. Quantum mechanics, string theory, I kind of like from a step back, I'm not that smart kind of perspective. Yeah, I get it. And that supports a form of spiritualism and connection to all things,
Hmm.
at least in my mind. So it's kind of interesting how if you take away like the dogma and the middleman, like in almost every like governments become the middleman, religion with its hierarchy, its priest, it's
Yeah,
got the middleman. If you just go straight to the source,
yeah,
it's a stronger connection. I really see that with spirit being, spiritual, just being elevated, being conscientious, conscious.
hmm,
Um, it just on so many levels, we cut out the middleman, and that I'm not saying, and I've been a broker my whole life. That's what I did for a living. I was a middleman.
yeah,
Um, and I don't know what to say to that, except that if you could find your own deal, not pay commission, go for it. But I don't do that anymore. But yeah, I think we need to just really listen to ourselves.
hmm,
And that's how we cut out the middleman. We can still work with people, but you need to listen to yourself and be honest as best you can. Do
yeah,
your best to look inside and just feel good about it.
hmm.
I haven't always. It's not always beautiful. It's painful sometimes, but I think that's the path we have to all be on.
Yeah. I met Ram Dass once. I said, Ram Dass, can you tell me anything? You know, it's at the Rico Gallery a long time ago on Main Street. Shout out to Julie Rico. And he's all, we are all on our own path, basically, which is simple enough to, and I probably knew that, but it's good to hear it reinstated. You know, it's always good to have these, you know, these affirmations or these things that you think said out loud. And you know, for most of the part, I think of like if there's anything that we could equate to being a god or a Gaia or something, it seems like the sun would be the source of all that, because that's the what gave us all this stuff.
It's the center of our world. I
Yeah.
mean, it holds us in orbit. It's hurling us through space at this hyper speed, spinning us around. Come, come on, man. I mean, are you kidding? It is.
It's
But
insanity.
then for the sun to be driven by something larger than it, I mean, we are tiny, but we're imperfect and we're beautiful. We are our potential, our connection, when we are who we are supposed to be, and that is ourself, and we have compassion and connection with everything. And I mean, even rocks and animals and
Yeah.
trees, they're alive. So that should be the goal. And I feel like we're getting tugged towards it. Remember, the power that designed our hand designed all of this. So
Yeah.
COVID or whatever, we're in good hands.
Yeah, with the fact that we even exist in the first place, isn't it? Like if the sun was like 1 inch over, we wouldn't even be here or something like that. Like it would be something crazy like that. Like the you know, and I believe in extraterrestrial life and multiple dimensions. You know, nothing is one thing. There's no, you know, a rock isn't just one rock. They don't all look alike. You know, they're not just, you know, it's everything's very diverse and multiplex.
Infinite and magnificent. Yeah. I gotta go. It's so great to see you.
Yeah, that was awesome. We went. I knew we would go longer than half an hour. All right, hey man.
How long did we go? I don't even know.
You know, I forgot because I did turn on but probably I'm thinking because I thought I stopped to watch or I started it, but I didn't. But
I hope I gave you at least a half hour because I promised you a half hour. If we didn't do a half hour, I can go longer, but I got to pee.
No, we did great. I like ending on a high note. We did like 45 minutes or something.
Oh, but, cool.
Brad, Neal, how can people, is your club still open? Is there anything you'd want to promote?
No, you can't be open. You can't be open.
Okay.
My club guys.
Nothing's open.
Hurt. No, and they shouldn't be. But they will. They'll come back. They're you know, the Lincoln, and I have a provision in the lease that on Sundays I'm still going to do music nonstop until, you know, they got like 30 years on their lease. I got like at least 25 years. Fuck it.
Yeah. Well, I want to come and rock out with you on
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'm going to bring some incredible streaming entertainment from the Venice Beach penthouse soon. So get ready.
I'm ready.
Yeah, brother.
I want to go to your penthouse. Okay, be safe. Wear a mask. Thank you, Brad Neal. Venice, strong. You guys be safe out there. I'll see you guys in the new year.
Thank you, brother. See you.
All right, man. Catch you later. Out. Yay, that was Brad Neal. My light only lasts for a certain amount of time. Anyways, hey, guys. Thanks for coming. Check out my website, brettwoods.com. I got these Pence Fly hats I'm peddling, penceflyhat.com. It's still funny. Come on, it's still funny. Be safe out there. Love each other.